I have a little problem with neutral eyeshadow palettes, sort of like my problem with nude lipsticks. I have way more than I need. But today I'm going to share with you some of my favorites, the ones that I think are worth investing in, especially if you are older like me, got the crepey skin going on your eyelids, looking for something that's easier to blend, just a little bit better quality, because frankly, the drugstore palettes that I've used, I've never really found a good one. I have one here that I think is decent, but it doesn't hold a candle to the higher end ones. I think this is something that you really should invest a little bit extra money in if you can swing it, because you know, once you've got the texture going on your eyelids, you kind of need that better quality shadow to blend easier and yada yada yada. I made a video a few weeks ago about things I think are worth investing more in and what you can totally buy at the drugstore. Eyeshadows is one of the things I really think that if you're older, it's worth investing a little bit more in. So anyway, I have a ton of eyeshadow palettes. I have a ton of neutral eyeshadow palettes. Like I said, I have way more than I need. So I, you know, I've done a lot of comparing. So today I'm going to talk about a few of my favorites. I think that the Urban Decay Naked palettes go without saying, so I'm not going to talk about those today, other than the Naked Basics, the little Naked Basics one, because Urban Decay shadows, consistently good quality. The Naked palettes, you know, they each have their own little color theme. One is bronze, 2 is taupe, 3 is rose gold. And it's easy. I mean, they take the guesswork out of it. It's easy. All the shadows work well together. Like I said, total no-brainer. If one of those colorways appeals to you, absolutely go pick one of those up. You won't be sorry. My favorite for me is Naked 2, the taupe one, just because I like the cooler shades and tend to, you know, really go for the taupes. So I'm not even going to cover this today because, like I said, total no-brainer, goes without saying. Yeah. I will cover the Naked Basics too. This is just a, like it says, basics. It's a little all matte palette. I like number 2 better because it has the cooler, taupier colors than number 1, which is more kind of tan, warmish browns. Although they're both good. I use these a lot, much more often than I use my Naked palettes, just because they go with so much. They, you know, great crease colors. Yeah, they're good to I keep this out because they're basics. They're kind of like underwear for your eyes, you know, no matter what you're doing, whatever look you're doing that day, whatever colors you're going to use, you're going to need something from this kind of a palette. So this is my favorite little neutral matte basics palette. So yes, so let's get into the fun stuff, shall we? I pulled out a few. Let's cover the one drugstore palette I have here that I think is okay. This is the L'Oreal La Palette 1. The La Palette 1 has a warmer, more brown colorway, whereas La Palette 2 is more purple. And it's totally like preference. They marketed 1 as for fairer skin and 2 for darker skin, but I didn't find that it really mattered that much. I have both. I definitely use number 1 much more often. These are the colors. I don't find that drugstore shadows blend well. I find that they are not pigmented. They tend to get all muddy, like they all blend together and become one eyeshadow shade. And this seems to be across the board for drugstore eyeshadows in general, although I will say that this palette seems to be a little better. than average drugstore palettes. It's certainly better than the Maybelline nudes palettes. I haven't tried the new CoverGirl ones. I've heard good things. There's also Revlon is coming out with some new neutral shadow palettes. Hopefully the drugstore eyeshadow game is going to get better now, but I've been disappointed in general. But this one is okay. It's $20, $15 to $20, so it's still not cheap. And if I feel like, you know, spend just twice that and get something much higher quality that you're going to get. You know, it's going to be more versatile. It's going to be easier to work with. You won't need to use as much, but this is not terrible. So now that we have that one out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff. I only have 4 more here, and I think a couple of them you'll be kind of surprised with. Let's talk about the Stila. This is the Eyes Are the Window palette. There's 4 of these Eyes Are the Window palettes. This is in Soul. I have another one. I have the all matte one, which I like too. This one is the neutral. This is the neutral palette, and I really enjoy this. I feel like a lot of these colors are dupes for the Naked One, so this is a little less expensive than the Naked, and I think you might get slightly more shadow. I would have to actually do some comparing, but the pans are bigger. Yeah, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 matte shades, not including this black here, which has a tiny bit of sparkle. But this is really good, and I have found that these colors mostly work together, so you can dip your brush into any one of them and it'll work with any of the others. So this, much like the Naked One, you know, have an idea what you're gonna do with it, but really pretty hard to mess up. Yeah, what else can I say about this one? I don't know. Good, solid. I don't think Stila makes the best shadows, but certainly not the worst. And for the price and the colors that you get and the versatility you get here, I think this is a really good option. So yeah, check that one out. 3 more. I have 2 Smashbox ones here. I have the Shape Matters palette, which I just picked up and I love. I'm so happy with this. First of all, the mirror on here, I don't want to blind you, but it's it's the size of the palette. So that's wonderful. And then these are the colors. So these big ones here are supposed to be, well, they're contouring powders, but they totally can double as eyeshadows, and I use them as eyeshadows a lot. So they give you 4 more eyeshadows than just the 9 that are here. This does have the pink and the purple, so it's not 100% neutral, but other than the pink and the purple, it's all neutral. And I find Smashbox shadows to be really excellent quality. They are easy to blend. They stay on. They look good all day. I've always been really impressed with Smashbox shadows, and I think that they are underrated. And I think they're just as good as the Urban Decay ones. And you really get so much product here. Plus, you get this this one here, the very cool contouring powder that is like the best that I've tried, the best contouring powder. And then this really nice bronzer as well. And then these 3 over here are brow products, 2 brow powders and then a brow wax. So this is kind of like an all-in-one palette that, again, I think is underrated. And I think if you pick this up, you're gonna really have just about everything you need. So if you just want to get one palette, this would be a really good option. Because, yeah, you got all sorts of different products in there. So really enjoying this one. This is one of my, I've picked up 5 or 6 palettes over the holidays, and I think this is probably my favorite one. And then my other Smashbox palette is from the Masterclass 2. Yes, I think this is Masterclass 2. But it's the one with the hard plastic cover that opens like a book. I took it. It's supposed to have two eyeshadow palettes like this. I took the other one out. The other one is all colors. I gave it to my daughter because I hardly ever used it. But lots of really pretty greens and blues and pinks, and just beautiful. And then down here, I took these out. These were the contour powders, same ones that are in the Shape Matters palette. And again, the Smashbox contour palette powders are fantastic, especially that contour color. It's so perfect. But so I kept the neutral shadows in here. I'll just take this out. This is my favorite. This is like when I say no brainer, this one takes no brainer to its own level. The reason that I like this so much is because it's organized in quads. So you've got like each long line, each row is a quad, and you don't have to do any guessing at all. You don't really have to know what you're doing. You just go in there, pick a quad, and do your eyeshadow look for the day. Yeah, no guessing. They tell you what goes with what. It's all right there in a row. Love the quality of the Smashbox shadows. These are beautiful colors, wonderful quality. This is not even half the palette as well. This is a little bit less than half because I took out the contouring colors and I took out the whole other half, which also had blushes. So it had the shadows, and then its bottom row was blushes. So again, much like the Shape Matters palette, this is more than just eyeshadows. But even better than the Shape Matters palette, everything's organized into quads, and you don't have to really know what you're doing because everything is all planned out for you. So I think this is my favorite. The one that I would say, if you're only going to get one, go for this one. This is like the best neutral palette ever, in my personal opinion. Plus, it's not even just neutral. All right, and then the last one is another one that I picked up this holiday season. Although it's not a holiday palette, I had a coupon, so I picked it up. This is the Paula's Choice, the Nude Mattes Eyeshadow Palette. And she sells this on her website. It's also on beauty.com. And these are all matte except for this one right here, which is a little bit shimmery. And you can layer on over another color to just give it a little bit of shimmer. But this just has such a wide variety of different tones and colors, hues. It's just so rich and varied while still remaining a neutral palette. And plus it's all mattes. A lot of people our age are a little bit less interested in the shimmery, shiny shadows and really want to stick more to the mattes. So this is a really good option, and I have found that these shadows are really nice quality, really easy to blend. Yeah, I don't have any complaints at all, and I like how much variety there is. You can do a cool look, you can do a warm look, you can do a gray look, smoky look. There's just a good amount of variety to give you many, many different looks, and it's all matte, and it's good quality, and yeah, this is a great one too. So that is all that I pulled out of my collection for today. Hopefully I gave you a few ideas. Like I said, the Smashbox Masterclass 2, I think if you can only get one and you're just starting out, that would be a really, really good one to invest in. Also the Shape Matters. They're all good. They're all good. Just, whichever one speaks to you. Go check it out. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.